What's the first draft you covered ever, anywhere, for anybody?
Last Radio City draft was my first for NFL Network. That's where I made my obviously much discussed cameos in Draft Day. So me and Daniel Jeremiah are in the background of the Radio City Music Hall stage.
Yes.
We were on like a little tiny desk.
Yes.
Not like the fun tiny desk where they do the music stuff, but the other tiny desk. And so you could see us in the background of the movie. That was the first.
That was the first one.
And I didn't know anything.
What do you mean you didn't know anything?
I didn't know how it worked. It was so fast. It was crazy. It was so crazy.
It goes faster than you think, man, right? I mean,
well, the crazy thing in my world is like I probably spent this year, because it's such a weird draft and so many different things can happen. I probably spent more time on the phone this year than any year ever, just trying to figure out, because everyone's evaluations are so different. And a player who I think could go like 9 or something could really go like 26. Like, it's that kind of draft. And so, but like when they come to me on the broadcast, you get like 5 seconds of heads up, maybe. So like it has to be, you have to think so fast. And I was not ready for that in my first year.
You were not. So how do you tell when somebody's full of it or not? I mean, how can you, because I'm assuming people are calling you for information almost as much as the other way around.
Right.
Okay. And so how do you know when you're getting something that somebody's not playing you? How do you know that?
I usually get it from other teams. Like
what does that mean?
Like, so let's say someone picking in the top 10 calls me. Okay, let's just say, and they're like, all right, what do you think's going to happen? You kind of run through like what you're hearing, whatever, and they'll be like, all right, so you think this person are going to be there, and you'd be like, yeah, all right, and I'll say like, what realm are you thinking? Like, you know, some teams will be like probably offense, or people will be like, yeah, I mean O-line, or maybe like if a receiver is there, like they'll give you like a little ballpark just so you can sort of sound smart when you're on the clock.
Of course,
be right. But then you talk to other people, either like
about somebody else's pick.
Yeah, and they're like, all right, well actually they scouted this guy a lot, and they heard they like this guy, and then they're like, all right, they asked about this other team hears they like this guy. I know they did a visit, or I know they had like a little secret meeting at the combine, or like whatever it is, and you kind of piece it all together, but I can't report any of it, so it's really just really fun. So I do like a mock draft every year that I send to Garofalo, Pelissero, and Breer, and then like a couple other people. And I like to see how right I'm going to be, and that's always really fun.
Where is this mock draft right now?
In my email.
In your email?
Yeah.
Do you want to throw it out there?
No.
Okay. So let me ask.
I can send it to you privately.
No, that's okay. I always think you're right. Don't ruin it for me. Okay. So, what is your best guess then, as to the first surprise of tonight's draft?
What I would like to know is what happens at 2.
That means the 2 is in play? Like it really is in play? Because I just spent the first 15 minutes of this show saying I would put 2 in play if I'm some other team.
Well, I mean,
I would make sure 2 is in play.
I would say, I think, but don't know, that Travis Hunter is probably the best guess to go there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like right now it's the Browns, and I would say likely, probably Browns. But there's some interest. There's some real interest. I talked last night on Insiders about the Jaguars preparing a bold move, and I really wonder, like, are they a team that tries to come up?
From 5 to 2 for Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, look, it would be a lot.
Like what? What would it be from 5 to 2? Because I'm talking about the Cowboys going from 12 to 2.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Okay.
Cowboys could go back, or they could stick. But, it would be enough to where, like, if the Browns don't come out of this draft with a franchise quarterback, if a trade happens, which, again, I don't know, but if the Jaguars are going to do something bold, if they're going to, do something, I was told the Jaguars are not going to be timid. I know Les Snead. I know James Gladstone was learned from Les. It's like anytime you hear a Rams rumor, probably true, because they will consider all the things, and I get the sense James Gladstone's kind of the same. So I think they're at least considering it. But let's say the Browns don't come out of this draft with a franchise quarterback. Then it's like you need enough draft capital to help them go get whoever the next one is. So maybe that's a 1, maybe that's future 1.
Yes.
Maybe that's a 2+. Like whatever it is, it would have to be enough to where in the future it helps them get whoever the next guy is.
Well, since everybody and their mothers believes Cam Ward is the only, if you will, first round quarterback that is worthy of where he's going to be picked. I think that's the way that I can sort of dance around calling it that, right? That how would the Browns then come out with a franchise quarterback without us knowing when he plays he turns into one? You know what I mean? So how can we say that they're coming out with a franchise quarterback? They're not really going to be able to say that unless they go ahead and trade back up into the first round and take one.
Possible.
Right.
I think we could see some action in the back.
So who is that other? Like, I guess that's a way.
So here's what I'm saying. If the Browns trade out of 2,
yes,
which I'm not saying is going to happen, but I do believe is possible.
Wow.
If that happens, then I would say, even if they come out of this draft with a quarterback, it probably isn't someone they anoint. Now, let's say the Browns trade back in and take Jackson Dart. I don't know. And he plays next year and is great, well then, okay, cool, you're done. Then game over, you have your guy.
Correct.
If he doesn't, then it's like, okay, well, we have an extra first-round pick. Next year's quarterback class is probably going to be pretty good, and they have enough ammo to go get someone.
Okay. Ian's phone is blowing up right now. I got a rap sheet here on the Rich Eisen Show. So
got to use AirPods, because if you're talking on the phone and it beeps so much, it's like,
what are you going to do?
Every second, it's like,
It's the day of the draft. Okay.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.